I got to play Pragmata. I did an interview about Pragmata. I have thought a lot about Pragmata. Again, this is Cowboy's gameplay. Shout out to Cowboy. Thank you, Cowboy, for giving me your footage for me to yap about, so I'm not just yapping and being like, trust me, this is what it looked like. I can show people what it looked like. I am really excited about this game. So let's just go into like gameplay. Because we're gonna talk about gameplay. Should I move my face? I should probably move my face. There's no real good place, so. Yeah, I guess we'll just stay up here. I'm only blocking part of the puzzle. I'm only blocking like a part of it. So Pragmata is a really difficult game to explain how good it feels. So the very basics of Pragmata is you have a 3D third-person shooter space where you are shooting, you're dodging, you're jumping and dodging. But then you also have this section happening to the left side, to the right side of your screen, that is you hacking enemies to open them up to do damage to them. Because if you're just shooting them, they don't really take damage. You have to hack them in order for them to take damage. So you have this thing pop up on the screen, and the way that it works is in order to do the most amount of damage to them, because you'll see the health bar, you'll see a chunk of their health be taken out. If you want to do the most damage, you want to go through all of the blue parts of the puzzle and then hit the green part, which is like a successful hack. You can just go to the green one and it will enable you to do some more damage to the enemy with your gun, but you're going to have the hack do less damage overall. And the way that you are doing the hack is with the face buttons of the controller. So I'll pause it so you can just look at it. Please hold. So you'll see here, you've got, you cannot see here. You can see here, it's got triangle, square, X, circle. So you can control your character with the left thumbstick, right? Thumbstick, and you can control the camera with the right thumbstick. And then dodging is R1. Dodging is R1. So you don't need to use any of these face buttons at all to control the character. Like this is your dodge, this is shooting, this is aiming. You don't need to use any of these buttons. So the face buttons are perfectly wide open for using it on the puzzle. Do 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 do. Bada bing bada boom. So initially you're like, oh man. And it's so interesting because you can feel the different parts of your brain like doing stuff that it doesn't normally do. You can feel your brain being like, which is really cool. I've never played a game that has made my brain do what it was doing while playing Pragmata. The other part of Pragmata is you have different weapons that you pick up. So you have the grip gun, which is your basic gun. This is a gun that you will be able to refill your ammo pretty freely. But then you also have the shockwave gun, and then you have the... I forgot the name of it. It's this one. No, it's not. It's a net gun. We'll see it eventually. But there's another gun that you get where you can shoot, and it puts a big AoE thing on the floor that kind of traps the enemies in it. So your grip gun doesn't do that much damage, but you freely have the ammo to do it, to shoot with. And then the shockwave gun is basically like a really close range kind of shotgun. It's basically your shotgun in the game. So if you want to take out a lot of enemies at once, so you have a really big enemy, you probably want to pull out the shockwave gun. But it is limited. So if you want to get more shockwave gun ammo, you have to pick up another shockwave gun. And that's how they kind of balance the different guns. The setting of the game is that everything is 3D printed. Everything is 3D printed. The world is 3D printed. I'm 3D printed. You're 3D printed. Everything is 3D printed. Stasis net. Thank you. Stasis net is the one that I was talking about. So they can print things. So everything, like, it kind of looks familiar, and there'll be a room that I think I might be able to show in this gameplay. I don't know if it's in this gameplay actually. But there's a room where you can see that they're kind of half finished 3D printing a chair or like a table. So things look familiar, but they're a little off. So that's kind of the world that you're in. The things that I love about Pragmata and why I came away from PAX being like, Pragmata might be my favorite game that I played and like super high up there as my most anticipated for 2026, is because of all of the things that you're thinking of while you're in combat. You have different guns, so you're like, do I want to throw down the stasis net? I think I do. I want to throw down the stasis net right away so I can kind of control the enemies a little bit. Then we want to try and get a hack off so that we can do damage and take out the enemy. Do I want to use my shockwave gun? I don't know. Am I going to have enough ammo to do that? Do I need to instead try and just take them out with the grip gun? Like, there's a lot of decisions that you're making, as well as dodging, moving the camera, and also hacking at the same time. Now, you probably, I think the problem with this game is because it is unique, and when people see it, they're like, I don't know, is that gonna feel kind of weird? I think after like the second hack you do, it actually feels pretty natural. You get used to it very, very, very quickly, and it just makes sense. And from what we've heard of the devs, like interviews that they've given, they've said that they had this idea from the beginning. This was available right from the beginning. This is what they wanted to do. But they had to work to make it feel really fun and rewarding and smooth doing all of this stuff. So that is the thing that really made them kind of take longer to make the game, is having all of this stuff working together while it also feeling really good. It's a game that I can tell you, it feels great. I feel it's so satisfying. But I think until you play it, it is going to be hard to understand how good all of the hacking and stuff feels. But so there will be we'll go to the boss fight real quick, because I think this will explain. And then I'm going to show you some cutscenes. But the boss fight, the hacking and the moving in a 3D space at the same time, it really adds to the intensity of what is going on. Because you can do a hack incorrectly, and you're going to have to go back and correct the hack. So if we look at this here, I also want to talk about this real quick. So you do pick up consumables that you can use within the hack. So during the demo, we only had access to one consumable, which is this one. And if you go through here, you're going to lower the enemy's defense. So you could try and find a way to go all around here, hit all of these blue nodes so that you do the most damage with the hack, and also hit this yellow node, which uses one of your consumables. So you see that you have 3. You can pick up more of these, but you can only carry 3 at a time. And when you go through that node and then get to the green node, that will lower their defense. So this is another thing you have to think about. You're like, do I want to use the consumable now? Do I want to save it? And this is just one consumable. So I don't know what the hacking and everything is going to end up being like later, but I can imagine it might get pretty nuts. I can imagine it's going to get a little crazy with different consumables and different things that they introduce to the hacking and the combat and the guns and what the enemies can do and all of that. See, he messed up. He's like, oh crap, what am I going to do? So now he has to go back and undo the hack. You have to undo the hack. Hacking mode is L2, so it's like you're aiming. Yeah, so you're aiming with that. I can actually show you the tutorial so we can take a look at all of that. But yeah, when you press L2, it'll bring up the hacking thing. So you can choose, it's also your aim button. So you can choose to hold L2 and just shoot if the enemy is low, or you can choose to do the hack. It's up to you. Just because the hack is on the screen, you don't necessarily have to do the hack. If something's really low, you can just shoot them and finish them off. But it makes it really smooth because it's not an extra button that you're having to press. It's just what you would normally press when you're aiming and shooting a gun. So it's nothing extra added on top of that. This game is just, man, I'm so excited for Pragmata. I think the gameplay is absolute peak. And then she has a super move. So what her super move does is she will stun all of the enemies in an area. So when you're fighting, I can actually see here, you can perform Diana's Overdrive Protocol when the hacking gauge is full. Overdrive Protocol will stun and open all enemies within range. So against a boss, like, it's cool, right? You get a free stun. But where this is going to come in really handy is when you're surrounded by a lot of enemies. And if you're surrounded by enemies, you can press that and it's going to make all of them available for just shooting and taking out. But man, you're just going to have to believe me. You're just going to have to believe me that the hacking feels super smooth with also the third person action game. It feels so good. And pulling off a hack whilst also dodging out of the way of explosions just feels super intense and really rewarding. It feels really good. So that's the combat. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will answer all of them. I also now want to talk about the dynamic between Hugh and Diana, because I wasn't necessarily sold on Hugh or Diana. The reason that I have been looking forward to trying Pragmata is because it is a brand new Capcom IP that is doing something very unique. So Capcom has a lot of long withstanding series. They don't have to make a new IP. So I was just excited for a brand new IP, period. But then when I started seeing the gameplay, I was like, damn, that's actually like super unique. That's the kind of thing that you would see come from an indie game, not a AAA developer these days. So the intro to Diana, I really, 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 really like. And I think it sets up their dynamic really well. So I'm going to let you watch this with the audio up so you can see what I'm talking about. 3D printing. Handy.
Suit integrity restored. Biomedical diagnostics online. Administering cellular repair. Vitals stable. Awakening subject, Hugh Williams.
Hugh Williams. So it's a really small thing, but her just giving him a big smack on the helmet, I was like, right away, it kind of sets up the dynamic between them to be something that's going to be, it's going to be as serious, of course, but it's also going to be like a fun dynamic between them. So I was like, okay. I like, it's a small thing, but it really sets it up. I like it. So the dynamic between the two characters, she is an android girl. She's like not a real person. She doesn't know about humanity. And then Hugh is like this astronaut that's gone on this mission to do something. But the interactions between them, I think you see at the end of this boss fight, you'll see what I mean. So after you take out the boss, you can kind of see where you're going to be going with the character development of Diana. Let me get there. Here we go.
Yeah, baby. We did it. This is how we say good job.
So you can clearly tell that the dynamic between them, I will tell you the entire story right now based on what I know from anime. I will tell you. I'll go through it. But she's going to be learning about becoming human. She's going to learn more about humanity and what humans do and how humans celebrate and how humans act. And I'm really looking forward to that dynamic and her kind of going on this journey to rediscover, well, not rediscover, to discover what being a human is like. I can already tell you. So here's my prediction for the plot of this game. You're going to spend 500 hours with Diana. She's going to gradually understand more and more what it's like to be a real human girl. She's going to learn about high fives and traditions and stuff. And then Hugh is a real human. So Diana is going to learn about the importance of humanity, what humans are, how fragile they are, how important human life is. And then Hugh is going to have to escape because he's a human and he can't stay in space forever, probably. So Diana is going to, with her newfound understanding of humanity, sacrifice her life so that Hugh can escape. And literally, I guarantee you, the final shot is going to be her giving him a high five and her kind of sitting there smiling, understanding that she's an android and he's a human, and she understands the importance of humanity and human life, and she is going to sacrifice herself to save Hugh. Bada bing, bada boom. You're crying. Fantastic. Good job. Anyway, you can see here during the shooting section when he's not hacked, you're doing like no damage to this motherfudging robot. You ain't doing shit. You're doing nothing. You are doing absolutely nothing to this robot. And that's when it introduces like, hey, your guns, like, yes, it does some damage, but they're not super effective. Diana can help you out by hacking. And it introduces you to how to hack, what hacking does. I do not work for Capcom. No one at Capcom has told me anything. I've watched a lot of anime. I understand a coming-of-age story and a humanity understanding. So I've seen Violet Evergarden. All right? I've seen it. I'm aware. I know what's happening. And refilament. So she is actually made of filament. I assume, because everything here is made from filament. Luna filament, refined from the mineral unique to the moon known as lunum. Luna filament can absorb and copy any information it comes in contact with. So everything that you see around you is made of Luna filament. And I assume that Hugh is there to like find Luna filament or learn more about it or something. So combat, we talked about combat. I think combat is banging. Movement feels really good because he doesn't have like a boost jump. You can hover and you can like jump and then kind of hover, but it feels weighty. You're not like jumping and spamming and jumping everywhere. It feels more weighted in, I guess, what it would feel like to jump and boost in a spacesuit. I haven't done that, but I can assume. So for example, if you're like jumping off of a ledge, if you will take a dip when you hover, you're not just going to go like, wee. It's not like a jumpy space kind of jump. It's more of like you have a suit that is helping you move. So yeah, when you're jumping and thrusting, it's not going to actually send you up. There's also environmental puzzles. So you saw one of them here. And there's different types of ones. There's environmental puzzles that are these type of ones where you have to just hit the thing that's closest to the edge and go in that order. And there's another one that you kind of use almost a key to go into different slots. So I'm really excited to see how those are going to expand as well. The other thing, so the devs have talked about the fact that there are going to be different areas. There's not just going to be like a space station that looks like this the entire way. But I did really like when you go to the boss and it kind of pulls back and you can see more of the world. Oh, here's the room I was talking about. Hold on one second. Here's the room. Yeah. So you can see that if you see something like this in the world, it means that it's currently being 3D printed. So you kind of see that they are literally 3D printing everything. Absolutely everything is being 3D printed. And you'll see different like unfinished walls as you're walking around as well. So I found the environmental storytelling to be pretty cool. Oh, there's also lore that you can pick up in the world that you can read, but also Diana and Hugh will comment on the thing that you picked up. They won't just like read the thing you picked up. They'll comment on it, and they just have a really nice relationship between them. It's like making fun of things, joshing around a little bit. And I assume also we're going to cry at some point. I'm gonna assume. A classic elevator fight. I'll show you that in more detail in a second. But this, when it pulls up and you see exactly where you are, because before this, you've only seen inside a space station pretty much. So actually going up the top of this elevator and seeing like the planet and more of the entire compound that you're in was a really cool moment. I like that a lot. Okay, we'll go to the elevator so you can see more of the combat, because this is when they start introducing you to more enemies, and you also see this puzzle. It's not a complicated puzzle, but the thing is that this game is all about like having you do a lot of things at once, all at the same time, and that potentially feeling intense. Like, I can imagine I'm running away from enemies and I'm gonna have to like hack doors, turn around, hack the enemy. Yeah. And so we were watching at PAX, they had a panel where they did a live playthrough of this demo, and they had Joe, who is the community manager for Pragmata, playing the game. And he does those hacks so fast, which was a really good show of like how much better you can get at this game when you play more of it. Because I think all of us are kind of like, but he's just like, so that's going to be really satisfying to see how much faster you get at doing the hack mid-combat too. Keep this game on your radar, man. Keep it on your radar, because this is what I want to see from more games. Especially AAA studios that have all the money in the world. Just taking a bit of a gamble, making a huge fancy AAA video game, but having a mechanic in it that is different, that you can't just say, oh yeah, it's like this game. Like, you can't do that. It's its own thing. It's doing something unique, and it does it so well. I assumed that I would come away being like, Onimusha is my most anticipated game for sure, by far. Which I am really excited for Onimusha. I knew that I would be. I like Onimusha. But Pragmata is like right up there for me.